Welcome back to the Hawaiian Pro Stop 1, the 2017 Vans Triple Crown of Surfing. Round 1 action, heat number 4, Hiroto Arai, Mateus Herdy, Kaito Kino, and Keone Yawn. Chris Cote here with Strider Wasilewski. And this is a extremely stacked, incredible field of surfers.
Well, you know, let's not count them out of it just yet. Up and riding.
Say the Hawaiian
we'll
Pro run ended before it began. All right, here we go. Live action. Mateus Herdy. This kid has been on an absolute tear through their pro junior rankings. Now a QS standout. Surfer out of Brazil. Right behind him, Kaito Kino. Surfer from Townside of Oahu. So we got an international heat here. Surfers out of Brazil. And Keone Yawn, just a quick up and down. Keone, he's flying the Hawaiian flag, but he was born in Hawaii, raised in Tahiti, of how they got here. Here's our look at Mateus Herdy.
This kid, he's got some fire. Young, energetic, super technical. Can find a lip line just about anywhere. I've seen this kid take to the air. They just blow your mind. So expect some of that probably later in this heat, but a great first wave for him. Kaito Kino, one of our first rights that we've seen in a while, comes around the corner. This is a power section, and then it comes to the inside where it folds over the reef. So unfortunately, he mistimes it and goes down, but these little rights are starting to fire up with the swell increasing in size and the wind taking his board away from him right there. Keone Yawn, you know, if he could actually
is on the road. The light at the end of the tunnel is the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing. So stoked to be in these events here at home.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be home and surf where this is like where I surfed my first contest ever, and this is it's a special place for me, and I just want to get through heats and keep surfing.
Great performance. We'll see you in the next round.
Thank you.
Kieran Jabor, if the waves start to increase in size, he will also increase in his performance. He is an incredible surfer when the waves get heavy. 20 minutes, 13 seconds ago, scores starting to come through. Mateus Herdy with a 6.80. You know, Mateus, yes.
Do you remember?
I remember that.
It's all coming back.
I thought he was going to switch all these years.
Right here. Keone Yawn finding a little corner on the right again. So with the swell increasing, stoked to see these rights fire up. Little tail whip there at the end with a little controlled bore slide, and on the same wave going for the left, our man Kaito Kino. So taken to the backhand, a little whip there, trying to find some lip line. Looks like he's gonna finish off strong.
You know, all regions kind of have their hotbed on the amateur scene. Here on the North Shore, you've got Hauiva's 5th place in Chiba at another QS 6000. So he is no stranger to blasting his way through a couple heats. Really fast, sparky surfer. And definitely not one to back down from a paddle battle. I've seen him really engage in a couple of tussles with some fellow surfers on the QS. This is Keone Yawn, born and bred in Tahiti, surfing on the north side. Papano'o. When you think of Tahiti as, you know, the image that always comes to your mind, of course, is Chopo. But for a guy like this, Keone Yawn, I mean, he grew up in rippable waves. There's a lot of events over there in waves that are...
There's definitely some fun little waves over there that have that little bit of onshore flow, but really rippable.
Not always death-defying, and that's where you see Keone Yawn gets his small wave prowess. Get a quick look at Mateus Herdy.
You know, so interesting that last heat. The scores really were solid. You know, you look at the heat totals, and then you come into this heat, we haven't seen that much up above the good range. But there's some solid surfing right here across this wave. Sparky, fresh. A couple of snaps up into the bowl. A little bit of the windshield wiper going. I would like to see a little bit of the gauge, engaging the rail a little bit, but it is so hard to do on a wave of that size. So clicking the lip once and twice right there. Solid surfing down the line, and then Keone Yawn goes to the backhand. Finds a little bit of flow out of that. It's one of his better waves, up into the lip.
Ooh, second and third turn.
Like it, right? A little bit better, a little bit more flow. you know, the left's kind of performing for him.
You can just tell right away Mateus Herdy was looking for the ramp.
He's young. He's got to be careful. You know, he's got a pretty solid score. He's got a 6. If he can get one of those little waves and actually perform and finish up, you know, waves on this size, those little backhand airs are going to look okay, but you really want to see these guys kind of pushing a little bit harder. I mean, if he would have went for a stock standard air reverse right there and stuck it, he would have had a backup score possibly. Right now, he's not going to have one. So you got to be careful with just kind of throwing it out there.
Throwing your skate tricks in the heat. 13 minutes, 50 seconds to go. So Hiroto Arai's first score comes through a 6.27. Keone Yawn into the lead. Power still reigns supreme. And here goes Hiroto Arai on a fast-looking left. And I think the one thing I'm watching, it is really hard to surf backwashy, you know, kind of backwashy waves on your backhand, especially. Because when you go up into the lip, backwash hits you, you're going down. And I think all these guys are showing us, making it look easy. And I think it's a lot more difficult than it appears as Mateus Herdy goes down.
Do what he wants to do, because this wave right here of Hiroto Arai is going to, even though it's just a 2-turn combo, it's going to put him into a really strong place in this heat and probably put him into the lead. Kaito Kino, quick hit, another one, but dealing with that backwash right here, he comes down into a little bit of it and it pushes him off his board. But see, so if he could have completed this turn right here, Mateus comes into it really clean little section. If he would have followed that up with another turn, got the backup he needs, he would have put himself in a great position in this heat. Instead, he's still searching for a backup score. Hiroto coming in with a 5.33, puts himself into second, and Keone Yawn, your heat leader, upright.
And it looks like he's going to be adding. You just see the power base with Keone. Look at Keone Yawn, Kaito Kino, similar surfers, both really strong and ready for anything as far as what Haleiwa can dish out when it gets 6 feet. But both these guys are adapting to these lefts. Saw Keone rolling with a heavy crew, the Moniz brothers. Yeah, Reynos Hayes, part of that camp. Experience is paying off for both of our surfers, Keone and now Kaito Kino, blasting the tail out. So battling back, Keone Yawn is your current leader. Hiroto Arai, second wave comes through, is at 5.33 for a 2-turn combo. This could be another keeper for Keone Yawn.
I like the first turn. The next couple are sweeps into the corner. But again, kind of lateral like we talked about earlier. A couple of snaps, kind of manufacturing a turn where there's not a lot there to do. So you're kind of turning down into the face to harness the power of the wave. It's a little bit of a finish off on the inside, but this wave right here, I like it. Finding some speed, some flair in the corner, beautiful. Snap back into it, 2-turn combo, throws the tail out a little bit right there. That's what we like to see, Kaito.
And triple crown of surfing during the break. We saw some action. Kaito Kino on his backhand.
Back up, finding waves. He surfed out here so many heats. Not much in that one, so he's going to kick out the boys out the back. They got plenty of time. But
coming up, 8 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Mateus Herdy got that one solid wave, a 6.23, yet to back it up. His second high score, a 3.33. Thinking there could have been an error with his trick selection. We'll see how that shakes out. Under 8 to go.
Maybe in wave judgment too there, like catching that wave. That wave didn't really pan out for him.
Trestles. And we'll see if he gets a section. Here he is, Mateus Herdy. Big snap, trying to find a ramp on this inside. Obstacle vertical, so a couple good snaps for Herdy.
Well, he doesn't need much, right? He's looking for a 5.83 here. He's feeling that's why you see him on kind of an inside, get some speed, you know, on a wave of this size that's just kind of slowly rolling over the reef. There's not a lot going on. You're going to have to really manufacture something. And you know he wanted to get more out of that turn right there. He probably would have liked to do a backside whip, maybe a backside 3, but it just wasn't there for him. The way it just didn't allow him to get to the lip line in time for him to get above the lip. Mateus, because all he needs is one to really do it. A little recap right here of Hiroto Arai. Down the line speed, throwing up some snaps, coming through with a couple of solid scores. Just keeping that board moving. I love it. Heat leader Keone Yawn. Some power surfing, a couple in the lip snaps, and looking for more down the line. I'm impressed with that down the line motion that he kept on that wave and how much speed he threw up into the lip, but then re-engaged the rail to get going again. Beautiful, solid surfing. And this way, he was finding turns coming back down into the face to create a turn where there wasn't much of a wall.
Jeez, destroyed this wave. So power surfing has been the key in this heat. Or wave we see in the recap. Kaito Kino building, hoping. He needs a 6.50, which is a pretty solid chunk of score for today, but he does have 3.5 minutes to go.
We'll see what scores go higher. Here you go.
Hiroto Arai with priority. Tricky section. Start this wave. A lot of bounce coming up the face. Now he could have a little inside runner here. You're on his 4th turn. You know, 6 turns on that wave. Pretty much looked to me like they're all kind of setup turns, as if he was waiting for something big to happen. But 6 turns nonetheless. That'll give him something. They give the judges something to chew on. Kaito Kino now clears a section, gets to the inside and goes down.
They connect with your board. You can see right here, Hiroto Arai. He's just putting it up there. He's just winding up. He's just going to keep going. And keep throwing the board up into the lip line, hope for something to pitch out at him. And if not, he's going to turn it back down into the corner. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of power and size in these waves, so to just keep the down the line speed and the flow and use your power to create something is going to be the difference.
Well, first wave of this set, it's going to be a right and a left. Keone Yawn sticking to his backhand, and it's working. So I like what Keone's been doing. I mean, he is just sticking to the power base here, flowing to this inside section. Big snap to finish. Sort of stays engaged in that wave. I would venture to say that last turn wasn't a make.
Take a look at Blue's wave as they split the peak right here. So he's looking for that backup wave. He doesn't need much. Throws the tail out, whips it around. He's stoked. He likes it. Needs a 5.63.
Well, he likes it, but will the judges like it? Was that enough? Was that dynamic enough? Did he even spin fast enough? I think for Mateus, that was probably a C grade error. I mean, for the rest of the field, that's a B or an A. But for him, I've seen bigger. Now, does that come into play? Do the judges look at what a surfer's capable of and judge it against what they're seeing?
I think, honestly, unfortunately, it's human nature that it might play into it a little bit. Judging, you know, a surfer for what you've seen him do and what you know he can do and then what he does. With that said, you can tell when a surfer pushes really hard and is actually trying to perform to the top level, or when he's just trying to call it in and doing a stock standard maneuver.
Well, we'll see what happens. Every heat counts, every wave counts, every point counts.